All right, settle down. What do I tell you guys all the time? Look at this. Don't touch anything, don't look at anything, don't break anything. And you broke the door. You broke the door. Come on in and settle down. How many perfumes is enough is a question I was asked in my recent video, and I don't know how to answer that, but I'm going to do my best. So I don't think you guys are ready for this. YouTube is not ready for this. How many perfumes is enough? I know somebody's going to say 1 million. You know, you always have that guy out there, but I want to give a quick shout out to, you all know that logo there. My man, GZ, thank you so much for this. Royale and Noir showed up super fast shipping, 2 days, and it was already here. I had George Zaharoff signature blend is wonderful, so I'm sure these are going to be just as spectacular. But I had George here last year while he was touring his Review the Reviewers, and had a pleasant evening with him. We had dinner and conversation and filmed a couple of videos. And what really stood out to me about George was his self-awareness, how aware he was of everything that goes on in his life and how he feels things. I really admired that about people, and George possesses that skill. Also very knowledgeable about perfume and just super, confident and assured and intelligent, educated guy that knows a lot about what goes on in the perfume industry. So I always love talking and learning from George, and I look forward to seeing you again, my friend. Scent of the day. How many perfumes is enough? I can't get over this. Noir Peace, Frederick Mull. This is a very rosy, spicy, oriental by Rose. It's a very fresh, dewy, springtime rose, slightly green. And it reminds me of, if you've ever had one of those Middle Eastern rose waters. That's really what it reminds me of. The rose waters aren't quite common here in Canada because, it's like, I guess Canadians can't get over the fact of drinking flowers, which is, kind of strange, as it was for me. But once you try them, they're actually pretty good. And they're quite common in Middle Eastern culture. They're used for cooking and stuff like that, but they're not easily accessible here. You can probably find them in ethnic stores, but that's what Noir Peace reminds me of, is rose water, and then you get all the spices and the woods in the background. But anyway, I want to talk about this. How many perfumes is enough? This has been coming up. I've been asked that. I've been asked, Eugene, how much more do you want to grow your collection? How much bigger is it going to get? Or are you going to shrink it, or is it going to stay the same? And, I'm quite content with my collection and the size of it. There's nothing that I'm actively pursuing, but, my eyes and my ears and my nose is always open. And I'm sure there's going to be releases from my favorite brands that are going to pique my curiosity. And of course I'll be grabbing them, Perfume is a love and a passion of mine, and just it'll be something that I'm always into and a part of. I had people estimating the cost of my collection, or the worth of it. A few people came close. I've never really calculated, but I've contemplated a few times, and I've come up with a number in my head. And there's a few that came pretty close, which was interesting and fun at the same time. But how much is enough? And this really is very subjective and different for everybody. You can ask 1,000 people how much perfume is enough, and you'll get 1,000 different answers, from 1 to infinity. But it all depends on what your purpose is. What is your reasoning for collecting? I had originally started out with a very unhealthy purpose or behavior around collecting, and I had realized that once I had hit my rock bottom, which was about a year ago. From moving into this place, I had a huge realization and a huge learning curve for myself, which was sort of bittersweet in a sense when my partner decided to leave. And it was a way, by her leaving, was a way of me being able to hit rock bottom. By her staying, it would have saved me from rock bottom. But by losing her, it kind of helped me, in a sense, find myself. And as difficult and heartbreaking, and the whole losing not only a loved one but my best friend was the best thing that could have possibly happened to me. And as much as she was aware of my addiction, I had no clue. I was really shut down to it, and I distracted my own self from my unhealthy behaviors towards collecting and purchasing. It was more, purchasing was my behavior. My biggest enjoyment to perfume is the actual experience wearing. I don't really care for, I don't never sit here and baby my bottles and hold them and go to bed with them. They're just, I more, when I get those memories of perfume, it's more of wearing and experiences and stuff like that. But the behavior to it was purchasing and chasing the next dopamine hit. And she was very well aware of it, with her background in addictions and growing up in a household full of every addiction possible. And she tried to show me the light and help me, but I just never understood it. And now, after doing the work for about a year and doing some self-discovery and research and getting some professional help, I'm able to see what it is that I've been blind to in the past. And really the behavior for me was burying my emotions and not having the tools to be able to deal with the stuff that came up for me. And instead of actually looking inside and saying, this is bothering me and I'm going to deal with it in such a way, I would ignore it. Those deep, dark emotions you get in the pit of your gut, I would ignore it or push it to the back. And I'd still feel like shit, but to mask that, to distract myself from that, I would go and purchase perfume to make myself feel better. So I was filling voids with heavy perfume purchases. And I'm aware of that now. I had no idea, really. It was all on a subconscious level, that what I was doing. And I just kept saying to myself, I'll just buy one more. I was aware that I was buying way too much stuff, more stuff than I could ever possibly utilize. And it was just always like, one more, I'll get one more, I'll get one more. Without knowing the subconscious behavior, what it was that I was doing. But that's really what it was. And when you ask how much is enough, it's definitely enough. This here will never ever be able to be fully used. But this is a manifestation of 10 years of poor behavior, of being unaware, of being unsure of myself, of not doing the hard work, having the hard conversations that I was supposed to. And none of it is my fault. This is all stuff that's learned in childhood. The way your parents train or teach you or show you how to deal or adjust with your emotions is the way you grow up. And that was kind of a situation that I grew into. So, and this isn't often talked about in YouTube, and it's, for a number of reasons. There's a lot of shame and guilt involved. This is the ugly side of fragrance collecting and reviewing. Nobody wants to talk about this because of the shame and guilt involved. And I struggled with shame and guilt myself for a very long time. I always thought it was my own fault, but now I realize it's not. But now that I know and I have the tools, and if I keep going like this, yes, I can take blame and claim responsibility for that. But not only is there, shame and guilt involved, there's also unawareness. People don't talk about it because they're not aware of it themselves. And again, it's not any fault of their own. So that's just kind of what I've been dealing with. So I'm aware of it now. You know, I've been doing my work. One of the biggest helps for me has been meditating. Sitting here, I try to meditate every single day for an hour, hour and a half, and it's totally changed my life around. I feel much better. I feel less stressed. I feel less anxious. I just feel, you know, completely at ease with myself, where before I would throw a fit or a tantrum, or I'm looking for, you know, I'd find myself in aggressive situations quite often. Now I'm just much more relaxed and take a deep breath, and, you know, an emotion comes up for me and I can feel it. I understand where it's coming from. And instead of trying to run and escape from that and go purchase perfume to make myself feel better, I look into that and I ask myself, where's that coming from, and what's triggering it, and what I can do to avoid this the next time. So that's really, that's what I got for you. I can say, fortunately though, for me, you know, you guys all know Maria from watching these videos from the past. She still remains my very best friend to this day, and we talk, and we have a very excellent line of communication and a relationship right now. And what will happen in the future, I'm not exactly sure, but we'll see. Anyway, so how much perfume is enough? This is all up to you, the individual, yourself, and only you can decide that. And you know, just ask yourself, how are your behaviors around your purchases? You know, is your happiness dependent on perfume? Can you be happy without purchasing new perfumes? Can you create your own happiness just by yourself? And this isn't to victimize perfume at all. Perfume isn't the devil at play here. Perfume is the subject, the you know, it's the behavior around this. So you could easily replace perfume with any other addiction. You know, it could have been an ugly one like drugs or alcohol or sex or gambling, sneakers, watches, whatever, cars. So it's not the subject. It's really understanding who you are, and feeling those emotions, and feeling, you know, just being self-aware. So yeah, this isn't to victimize perfume. I'll always be into perfume, and I don't think I'll ever stop purchasing perfume, but it's coming from now it's coming from a place of awareness, you know. So when I'm feeling like shit, I've stopped myself several times in the past and said, yeah, you know, I'm feeling this because of such and such a thing, and I can deal with it without having to go and purchase something to make myself feel better. So that's what it is. So I'm glad I can share that with you guys. If you have any questions, drop them down in the comments down below. Always love reading your comments. Always curious as to what you guys have to say. Like this video, and if you haven't already, please subscribe. If you'd like to support my work, a lot of you have already, you can do so. Purchase me a coffee. To those that have, thank you so much. I see you guys. There's quite a few of you that support on a regular basis. So thank you so much. I do appreciate you all. Anyway, I'll see you all very soon, and have a good day.